Well, hello and welcome to the Ludus tonight, as we are hosting here on the D&D Void, which is our wonderful Discord home. We have a game for you tonight. It is a game of gladiators, Roman gladiators to be precise, and we have titled this Champion Challenge of Gladiators, the Games of Glory. Now, for those that may or may not be familiar with my games and this channel, we also have Of Dice and Destiny. We have open season games where other people can randomly choose to have and host their own games, and we will put them up on YouTube. And we also have City of Viridia, which is on Tuesdays. So, with all of those different shows and this new one on the lineup, this show is live only. So, you are watching it live. If you're watching it live, we will need you to cast your votes in the chat, whether you are on YouTube, Kick, or Twitch. It does not matter. Type your message, type your votes. We might ask for a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Maybe we want to see what the crowd reaction is. But if you type your message, say hello, and interact with us, it will come through to us in our Restream channel in Discord. So we will be able to see the messages as they come through. So do message us, and we will see those. So, you're both familiar with, well, hopefully both of our players are familiar with the layout and the way this game's going to work tonight?
Yes.
Excellent. And tonight's contestants in the arena are Flaps and Turtle. Flaps.
Yes.
We'll get to a full description of your character in the actual game, but do you want to tell us a little bit of history on or backstory for your character before we get started?
Yep. Noctis Everwing has spent the last 20 years in various gladiator arenas, fighting constantly. He has lost countless partners and refuses to call any of his partners by their names unless they survive at least one fight. He's grumpy. He has a trident, some javelins, and a net, and he really doesn't like people.
Turtle, as the other contestant on this team facing the first of 3 challenges, tell us a little bit about your character.
Shit. Kind of had me at a. I'll admit, it was kind of a rush job. But from what I could just throw together from the information I have for him, or while working on him, he is essentially a farmer who decided to stop working the fields and wants to try to get a bit of more glory, so entered into the games for a bit of glory and gold. So, yeah, we'll see how long he survives.
Fair enough. So these are the 2 contestants tonight, and I know it was a bit of a rush job, but have you considered the name of your team?
I had got a name for the team, but I hadn't. I did speak to Turtle about it. I chose the name Fur Mortals.
Fur Mortals.
Yeah. Instead of the I am for immortal, we're Fur Mortals because we're both non-humanoid creatures.
Brilliant. The Infamortals. And what colour represents your team?
Ooh.
What colour do you want your banner to be?
What colour do you think, Turtle?
Uh, yeah, if you got one that you want to do, that's fine with me.
Let's do a nice dark purple.
Dark purple for the mortals. That could play some relevancy later.
Oh,
As
dear.
you
That
know,
does not sound good.
you are here for the Games of Glory, an annual event in this city set in the not too distant past in the same world as the others. It has a very Romanesque arena feel. It's not in Albion though, it's in the other continent. The one that hasn't been explored yet in any of our other games. The one of which City of Viridia sits on the edge of and between.
Ooh.
So as yet, this whole town, this whole continent, hasn't been explored by anyone. And this is just the first of many different cities within that continent. So, with that being said, and a little bit of history on where this is set in the far, far, far east of the world that I am building, we shall get into tonight's Games of Glory. Right then.
Okay.
The arena is already awake. Not the city, not the nobles, not the people selling cheap wine and even worse sausages outside the gates. The arena itself. It breathes before anyone enters it. You can hear it through the stone, chains moving, gates being tested, animals throwing themselves against iron, and men laughing too loudly because they were afraid of being quiet. Down here beneath the stands, there is no sunlight, just torch smoke, old blood, sweat, wet sand, and the stink of fear dressed up as bravery. You are not walking into a tavern. You are not taking a job from some smiling merchant. You are not heroes on the road. Oh, God, no. Choosing which wrong to right? No. You are gladiators. Maybe you were bought. Maybe you volunteered. Maybe someone promised you gold, freedom, revenge, fame, or any other menial justification for your being here. Maybe it was one of those that was your initial motivation to sign up. Either way, just one clean death with people watching is all it will take. You know your lives are on the line as when you signed up as a team here. One of you's been through the ringer before, multiple times. But whatever the case is, maybe, just maybe, you believe that this is a choice you have. Whatever the case is, the ludus does not care. The sand does not care. And the crowd absolutely does not care. At least not yet. Because right now, to them, you are not legends. You're not champions. You're not even a name on their considerations list for the bets that they're going to be placing later today. Right now, all you are is the opening act. And ahead of you is an iron gate. Beyond it, the first trial. Beyond that, another. Then another. First trial is a trial of blood. The second being a trial of cunning. And the third being a trial of glory. That's the shape of the night. 3 chances to prove that you are worth more alive than dead. 3 chances to make the crowd remember you for something other than the sound you make when you hit the sand. And on the wall beside you are old names, some carved deep, some painted in gold, some scratched away so hard the stone itself has been wounded. And there, half hidden beneath the soot and dust, a black laurel wreath. No name, no title, no victory, just the mark. Waiting. A man in red gloves walks past, a clerk maybe, an official possibly. He does not look at you like people. He looks at you like you are odds on a slate. Like numbers, like outcomes already written down, and his quill scratches once against the slate that he carries. And then you hear it, the first of the horns. Loud, sharp, and triumphant, the sound of those horns as they blast through the arena. You can hear the gates opening for the crowds that are coming in. You hear the chains rattle as portcullises are raised to allow people to sit and view the arena outside. You can hear the excitement in the crowd, muffled from where you are, but you can hear the excitement as they are beginning to take their seats. The horns sound again, and dust shakes from the ceiling. The crowd begins to quieten, not quite fully yet. Then there's another. Makes something behind the arena doors scream back with a roar and a growl. And the third seems to be drowned out by the crowd directly above you. Thousands of voices becoming one ugly, hungry thing. Your Lannister steps close. Not in a kind way, not in a cruel way, but in a practical way. Right. Listen to me. Win, obviously. But don't just win, right? Anyone can survive badly. Anyone can kill quietly. Crowd, they'll forgive fear. And if you turn it into violence, they'll love you for it. It forgives pain if you can make it beautiful. And it will forgive cruelty if you make it worth watching. He looks over at the pair of you. It does not forgive boring. Make a show of it. Let yourselves be seen. That's the key to winning the crowd. You got that?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
It's not the first time I've been in one of these.
This will be the first time you've been in a challenge like this one, I promise you that. The fact that you're still alive, either you're good, or it weren't the best. You hear above you, you hear the arena herald's voice rolling through the stone like thunder in a grave. People of the sand, patrons of blood, beloved vultures of the upper seats. You hear the crowd roar. A new pair enters the games of glory tonight. And your gate in front of you begins to rise, slowly, deliberately, mechanically. First you feel the heat spilling through. Then you begin to see the light. Then the smell of the sand, the smoke, the blood, and the waiting teeth beyond rolls in. "Let us see," the herald cries, "whether they are warriors," and the gate locks open in that moment, "or just another meat sack for the animals." And the crowd roars, cheering for you to step on out. "So, fair mortals, step forth."
I look at the lizardman next to me. "Don't die. Pull your weight." And I step forward.
As you step into the sand of the arena, what do the crowd see?
They see an owlin in very battered leather armor, wielding a trident with several javelins and a sling on his back and a net trailing in his right hand. And he takes a knee and takes a handful of the arena soil and runs it through his fingers before standing up and just looking at the crowd quietly and expectantly.
As you take the knee and bow, you look up and you see the crowd. It's not full, but it's busy. And you can see that there are a lot of people that have paid some good money to be here today for these games. See the teams early, get a lay of the land, see if they can work out who's going to become the champions so that they can place their bets in the hopes of winning big. And as you take a knee, the crowd falls silent, like they're judging a moment of respect. Turtle. As your character, Rask, steps out onto the
Rask would
sand.
probably have taken a bit of time a bit because I figured this would probably be his first official, other than like the initial things to get him in, which I guess would have been like the whole thing as far as himself. He would have probably waited a bit and was collecting himself before walking out, and just a simple lizard folk covered in basic cloth clothing. His arms are wrapped and bound in strips of cloth. In his left hand he's just holding a spear, and as he walks out into the light, brings his hand up to block the sun from his eyes a bit as he essentially peers around before looking down at his teammate and a slight nod and agreement as to saying, answering his earlier comment before kind of, you know how some reptiles like to kind of dig into the sand? He kind of does that with his feet, kind of feeling the warmth of the sand, and then you'd see a slight toothy grin go across his face, and just gives a slight bow to all of the people that's watching.
Okay.
As in also thanking and welcoming them to watch the shows and such.
The crowd begins to murmur. They're looking at you, they are judging you, and the herald steps forward in the center of the arena. For the trials of blood this evening, the first match. Bring out the jackals. And you see the gates on the far side open. And as the portcullis comes up, you see 3 trainers, each with a jackal in hand, as they lead it to 3 chains that are on the arena floor. They connect the jackals up. You can tell that these jackals have not been fed. You can tell that these jackals are somewhat hungry. And you can tell that the 3 jackals are desperate. They don't care at this point. They can smell fresh meat. They can smell prey. They are hungry. And they are pulling at those chains, waiting for it to snap and break. As the herald steps in, an easy victory for our wannabe champions, wouldn't you say? 3 jackals. 2 heroes, if you can call them that. The crowd erupts with a little bit of laughter as he says that. Before we release the jackals, do our contestants have anything they wish to say?
I'm going to look at the crowd. I'm going to look at the jackals and point at them with my trident and convey a silent message to the crowd through pointing my trident at them that these animals will die.
Mm-hmm. There's a murmured nod of recognition from the crowd as to the action that you've just taken. Rask, is there anything you wish to say or do before we roll initiative?
So exciting.
Turtle? Have we lost a turtle? We have lost a turtle. Bear with us, technical difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
He will rejoin in a moment.
Jackals. If I know about jackals.
Say what, sorry?
Sorry, just muttering to myself. I faced a number of D&D monsters. I'm just trying to remember what I know about jackals.
Ah, I see.
Oh God, pack tactics.
Turtle, as you are being goaded by the herald, is there anything you wish to do or say before we roll initiative?
Yeah, I didn't hear anything that had happened.
Not a lot. You've stepped out into the arena. The arena herald has basically made his announcements, tried to get the crowd going again, and Noctis pointed a trident at one of the jackals and went silently as if your turn to die, conveying that to the crowd. Is there anything that you wish to do to convey to the crowd, say, or act before we roll initiative?
I think seeing the jackals come in, Noctis probably would have started getting a little bit more limber as he started doing milling down a bit and kind of jumping in place and loosening up his body, being that he's now out in the sun a bit more. He's getting a little bit more lively,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll probably spin his spear around a few times, just getting back to playing with it and all. Just, all right, let's take some dogs down.
The arena herald walks out of the arena, leaving his footprints behind in the sand as he's wearing sandals. The portcullis that he leaves through closes behind him, and you hear the blare of the arena horn. I would like you all to roll initiative, please.
Yay. God, I love a new campaign. That's a 13.
13 for Noctis.
21 for Rask.
Nice. Rask, you will be up first. But before we do that, the chains where these jackals were attached to comes free. And the next thing that you notice is that they've all turned and they are all staring you down. Eyes, nose sniffing the air. They know where their meal is. The chains snap.
Boy, don't let them form you.
The chains snap back and retract into the arena floor, and as the collar that was around their necks breaks free. Rask, you're up first. What would you like to do?
Let's see. Uh,
Awesome pictures.
Thank you. I do try.
Is that a jackal?
They are jackals indeed.
Oh, they look like Chinese foxes.
So,
no, I don't think I'd be able to reach it on time.
which one are you trying to reach?
Jackal C looks like it's just out of my movement speed.
Yep, it is 37 foot from where your token is, approximately. Center to center, it's exactly 40 feet.
That is fine. I am going to use my movement to get there. Let's see. Nope. Nope. I will go partial movement. Yep. It's about there. I guess that'd probably be
I would say one square
25
closer.
years.
One square closer would be 30 feet. Perfect.
My little measure thing, it's a little iffy. My finger covers up the stuff.
It's all
I only
good.
include like 25. But at that, he's just going to essentially, as he's running, he's going to have his spear ready. And when he gets to that point and it stops, he's just going to throw the spear at Jackal C.
Go for it. Roll to attack as you take your run.
11.
Does an 11 hit? No, it doesn't. Unfortunately, the jackal dodges out of the way, and your spear misses going into the sand behind it.
Yep, I was afraid of that.
Next is the jackal A. the first jackal to break its chain and start running free. It takes 30 feet of movement, which it has, to get to you, as you are the closest, Rask, as it charges in towards you. And it will, as it comes in, it is going to attempt to bite you.
Okay.
And oh, it bites you. Indeed, it does. You cannot get any worse of a hit than that, unfortunately.
Well, it's a hit.
It hits, and it was a crit.
Yeah.
As an error occurred with my 3D dice. Well done.
DM's pulling no punches today.
Nope. So that's should be 2d4, and the damage is not coming through. I'm going to have to roll physical dice and tell you what the result was. So this will be 2d4 minus 1 in terms of damages. 3 and 3, so that's 6 minus 1. That will be 5 points of piercing damage as it bites into your leg and takes a chunk out of it. And you hear the crowd booing your performance as the jackal rips its head back and casts the meat off to one side that it's managed to take out of your leg. Unfortunately, you don't have any time to really react as the next jackal comes into play, Jackal B. He is a bit too far out, but closest to him is Noctis, and he is going to use most of his movement in this round to run towards Noctis, and that's all he can do. But you can see he's preparing, he's really charging you down, and as he's charging you down, Noctis, you have your moment now to react. What are you doing on your turn?
Noctis turns to look at the jackal, smiles, and launches into the air and flies 30 foot towards Jackal A. And while he's up in the air, he is going to cast Zephyr Strike, and that's a concentration.
Yes.
And he is then going to launch a javelin straight down at at Jackal A. So the crowd sees Noctis shooting into the air, and they see a golden blur, and they hear a thunder crackle as he launches a javelin. Oh, that's
a terrible roll. Unfortunately, the jackal, probably more scared of the thunder crack as you launched.
Sorry. Zephyr Strike gives me advantage on one weapon attack roll on my turn.
Yes, it does.
So, try again.
13. It seems to cower a little bit under the loud noise of that thunder strike as it claps through and around the arena, and you can hear the crowd as they're watching this, and you can hear the announcer as he turns around and says, "It looks like one of them might be meat, but it looks like our flying friend here has the advantage. Roll your damage." As this javelin comes down, the jackal tries to move out the way, and initially it looks like it might miss, but it just judged the javelin wrong and it's moved directly underneath it.
Okay, it's going to take 1d6 plus 4 javelin damage and 1d8 force damage from the spell. So that's 2 points from the 6 from the javelin so far, and 7 from the Zephyr strike. 13 points in total.
You kill it outright as this javelin lands straight through it and pins it to the ground. You just see the blood, dark red, seeping out from the jackal's body underneath it and into the sand. And you hear the crowd as they roar in approval at how precise your strike was. Seems you might have impressed this initial opening crowd just a little bit. As we move to the next jackal. So Jackal A is dead. And it won't allow me to actually kill it unless I do that. I'll hide it. That will do. So we move to the final jackal on this round, and he is... How high up are you?
30 foot in the air.
You are 30 feet up in the air.
Yes. That's my movement speed.
Well, this jackal can't reach you, so it's going to go for its only other natural target that's available.
Mm-hmm.
And Rask, I'm afraid you are going to suffer the wrath of another bite attack. Does a 9 hit?
No, it does not.
Well, you have managed to evade this attack as it comes in for a bite. Is there anything special you'd like to do to evade it, or is it just a simple sidestep?
Simple sidestep, I guess.
Fair enough.
Olay.
And with that, we're at the top of the round. Now, before you have a go, Rask, nope, not this round. Next round. Carry on. Rask, what are you doing?
Okay. Well, Russ didn't like that he got bit, so he's going to try to bite the jackal.
Go for it.
So yeah, he's going to lunge down, and essentially he's aiming for the back of the neck.
Should bite off.
Okay.
Does a 15 hit?
Oh, 15 definitely hits. Roll your damage, please.
Oh, good. Then it's going to take 1d6 plus 3 slashing damage.
He is dead.
We'll take.
How do you want to kill him?
Okay, so yeah, Rask is just going to essentially almost like serpentine movement. His head's just going to snap down onto the back of the jackal's neck, and his teeth are just going to just sink in, tearing into the flesh. And the moment he feels that it's lost all fight, he's just going to sling his head up and do like a power bomb as he turns and slams it down behind him, snapping its neck.
The crowd roars as you exact this kill, and you slam it down into the sand behind you, snapping its neck in and biting through to a point where it's almost half hanging off. And the crowd roars. Beasts, 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 beasts.
And I'm going to do it is a bonus action, and it would go in with the bite. I'm going to channel in essentially my hungry jaws,
Mm-hmm.
and essentially as he throws it down, you'd see he visibly pulls a large chunk of flesh off of its neck, and he
Yep.
just consumes it, giving him 2 temporary HP.
And the crowd roars up again. Beasts, 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 beasts. And you can hear it, the chant running around the arena. Your display seems to have earned you one favour.
Ooh.
As he eats it, he essentially eats the chunk of meat. He just locks on to the other jackal.
Move your token on the map. And as you turn and walk over to the other jackal, it is indeed that jackal's turn. As he is going to... this one is dead. Let's just kill him off. This jackal is going to go for the nearest, as is the rule. 15, and you're up in the air, so that don't matter. And he is going to come over to you, Rask, and once again, seeing his counterpart just been eaten, he's a little bit nervous, a little bit tensious, a little bit of tension in him, but he is going to do the only thing he knows how to do. He's going to try and bite you. But you're more than ready for that, as it rolls only, as it completely misses and snaps short of your other leg that hasn't been ripped open yet.
Yep. Be
So,
another side step or slight movement.
yep, he completely misses. Noctis.
Noctis has noticed the crowd is very wild, and he noticed that Rask killed one of the jackals. So Noctis is going to fly over the remaining jackal, and he is going to cast the Zephyr Strike again and drop a net on top of this jackal. Could I have a dexterity saving throw from the jackal, please?
You can indeed. They are fairly dexterous, but not in this case.
That'll do it.
He fails.
What did he roll?
He rolled a 3. He failed.
Okay, so as I
That
fly
was a
over,
nat. Yeah, that's a nat 1, by the way.
oh damn! Yes. So as I fly from my previous spot, I land perched on the side of the arena wall and watch as the net I dropped as I flew over lands smack over the top of the jackal. And I look at Rask. Tuck your elbow in when you're using your spear.
As
And he
you,
does take,
okay.
sorry, he does take force damage. I do apologize. He takes 5 points of force damage from the impact of the net hitting him to the ground.
How do you want this net to kill him?
Oh, it kills him.
Yep.
I have an idea.
The weight of the net and as it lands on his neck just snaps it and drops the creature to the ground.
It seems to recognize the danger, and as it tries to bolt, it's essentially the weight of this heavy net it can't escape from, and its head and neck go through one of the bits of the netting, and as the net hits the ground with the force that it does and the weight that's on each corner, He pulls and struggles against it, and you can see that this thing is suffocating, and it can no longer breathe properly until eventually it just keels over, not moving. And you hear a roar come from the crowd once more as the jackal dies. Cruel beasts, cruel beasts, cruel beasts.
Seeing that, Rask could probably walk over to where his spear had landed, retrieve it, and then walk back.
And as you walk back, the arena herald once again steps out into the arena from where the portcullis opened, and he begins to call out. So, with great cheer and triumph, the first of these challenges is over. The victors are the Fur Mortals. However, one rule has been broken. Every contestant must stay within the arena walls. They may be 30 feet high, allowing you to fly upwards, but that does not mean you are allowed to perch upon it. Please get back down into the arena, and we will await the crowd's vote.
Hearing that, Rask's head is just going to slowly pan over to Noctis.
There's murmurs in the crowd going round, whispers here and there about, what do we vote? What's the vote going to be? Before the arena herald once again pipes his voice up and says, so the consequences are 3 more jackals now, ground fighting only, or forfeit of 1 favour.
I'm going to look at Rask as I pick up my net and my trident, my javelin.
Mm-hmm.
I could fight 3 more, or do you want to submit a favour?
For those that are watching the live stream, please enter what you would like to vote for into the chat. Favour or 3 more jackals?
I just knew you were going to find a way to punish me.
But the crowd is gearing towards the sounds of 3 more jackals. I am going to roll a d20. 10 or below is the jackals, or above is the favour from the crowd. Any comments coming in from the stream will affect the dice roll by 1 in either way or favour. So let's see. Oh my god, right, okay. That was a natural 20.
Oh.
The crowd is currently working in for the loss of the favour, for the blatant disregard of the rules. And you can hear the murmurs coming round. But ultimately, Not getting any votes in from the audience. So if you are there, get those votes in now. It's your last chance.
And for those watching on +1, you can't vote. The votes have already been counted.
Oh,
The opportunity was there. I had to take it.
fair enough. Nope.
If need be,
The crowd
I'd be
has
fine with the
ruled.
favour.
The crowd has ruled, and you have lost the favour, unfortunately.
Damn it.
That's fine with me. Because if we had to do 3 more jackals, we would probably lose Rask.
As you exit the arena and the wet sand and head back to your current chambers, which is at this stage nothing more than what appears to be a small cell. Although it's slightly more comfortable, there is food and other beverages available for you to eat and drink between your challenges. You only get about 15 minutes of respite, just enough for you to spend any hit dice if you need or wish to heal up. To have something a quick bite to eat before we move to the next chapter.
Is that a short rest?
rest?
Essentially, it's a short rest. You will need to spend your hit dice.
Would a short rest restore some of my spells?
Nope.
Nope. I'm going to sit down on one of the benches and look across at Rask. Then look down at his...
The only way that a short rest will restore spells is if you've got the ability to spend the sorcery points, basically.
And that's okay. I'm not just for some of my spells. Yeah. I'm gonna look over at Rask and I'm gonna look down at his leg. And I'm gonna look at him again. You did good. The next time, move faster. And tuck your arm in. Your spear technique is terrible.
As you are resting, your Lannister comes in to speak to you. Well, seems like you lot have got a bit of a tendency that's been developing amongst the crowds. There's been a few rumours. You started off where we got a few comments in that saying that you were quite respectful. And then towards the end, the crowd were calling out that you are nothing but cruel beasts.
I respect the Sands.
Well, the Sands have spoken. Next up is going to be a challenge that hopefully will test your brain rather than your brawn. But, and he rolls up one of his sleeves to scratch his upper arm. And as he does so, you notice a small mark on his arm, like a branding almost of a black laurel wreath.
Would I recognise the laurel wreath?
Roll me a history check.
Oh, wonderful. 14.
Oh, I've just realised they can't see the game log because I've put the wrong thing over the top of it.
For the audience, I rolled a 14.
Where is the game log gone? So on a 14, your knowledge of the Black Laurel Wreath, you know it's a... You would know of its history. It has a bit of a marred history in the arena scene, unfortunately. And
sorry.
you know it has a bit of a marred history on the arena scene. The last time that they were seen, the Black Laurel Wreath was a party of 4 champions that basically dominated the scene maybe 5-10 years ago. They were quite unsavory, and they were vicious.
I'm going to look at the Lannister mark on his arm and give him a respectful nod from one gladiator to another.
He sees it and he nods back. Lannister looks over at you. Vanko is my name.
Noctis, pleasure to meet you.
But what you saw out there was nothing. You know there was only supposed to be 2 jackals out there, and you were supposed to be fighting the trainers as well.
It would have been more of a challenge.
Well, you're not wrong there, but they don't normally bring out more than 2 in the first round in the opening games.
Is that unusual?
Yeah, someone changed the slate at the beginning, moments prior. Don't know who, don't know why. Just keep your eyes open.
Thank you for the information.
As for you, Rask, bit of a nasty bite. You going to be good for the next round? Well, it shouldn't be too challenging for someone with a bit of brain.
Should be fine. Just a little rest up and it'll heal.
Good to know. Right. It looks like you'll be back out on stage in about 5 minutes or so, so get your thinking caps on, as they say. And then he turns and walks out the room.
The rest is going to lean over to Noctis and go, you're supposed to bring thinking caps? I don't own one of those.
It's a metaphor.
Right.
I'm gonna reach down to and rip off a shred of my robe underneath my leather armor, and decent enough size for a bandage, and I'm gonna toss it over to Rask.
Okay. As you... Sorry, go on.
I already handled it. And you probably would have noticed that the moment they got back into the cell, Rask would have already fastened a wrap around his leg to stop any bleeding or possibly any infection to start up on it. Because I'm assuming we know some of our starting gear that we were given when creating character.
What was that again? Sorry.
were we allowed to have like our starting gear and all that with
Oh
us?
yeah. You had your standard starting gear.
So yeah, he would have a healer's kit. So he would have just had like basic stuff, healing balm and bandages
Yep,
in his bag.
easy
So he
enough
would
to
have used
come
some of
by.
that to apply a bit of a salve and wrap it with some clean cloth.
Cool. It's about a minute, and you hear the horns, like maybe 2 to 3 minutes before the next challenge. And you hear the horns once again roaring through the arena, through the walls and echoing around. As the crowd retakes their seats, you can hear the murmurs. Oh, have they rested up? Has his bite healed? That sort of thing going round. And the arena floor has been changed. The pit has been opened up a little more. And I need to do this on the actual map rather than the other one. And you can see in this arena, as you step out, that they have really pulled out all the stops.
Yeah, that's impressive.
You realise that as you step out, no longer is the sand beneath your feet. That's been raked away. That's been swept to one side. Or at least that's what you would have initially thought. But then you look around and you can see the walls, you can see the same crowd, you can see the same VIP spots up at the top boxes in the upper rows, and you realise that, yeah, these people work fast during the intervals. And there is what is essentially an entire room with no roof, having been put up with what could only be described as practiced ease, as you see the last of the crew here at the arena dragging the final statue in the middle of the room into place before turning and walking away. And as you step out, you do see before you exactly what you see on the screen. The 4 statues, pedestal in the middle, what appears to be a compass in the stone tiles that point north, south, east, and west. You see 2 rows of what appears to be various training dummy. So you know those wooden sticks with the fake arms that come out that trainers use. It's just 2 rows of that on either side of the room, as far as you can see. And then at the far end, you see 3 banners, one with a lion, one with an eagle, and one with a laurel wreath. Red, blue, and green.
It's Hufflepuff.
And as you step out, the herald looks up once more, standing there in the centre. And now for the second challenge, Trial of Cunning. Can our contestants outthink the arena? Have they got the brain as well as the gall and the brawn that they've just shown? Because as we know, not every victory requires the death of something or someone. Sometimes being able to outsmart the environment or your opponents is all you need. This challenge, this trial, will prove their cunning in ways that you have not foreseen. And as he finishes his sentence, he steps off. The crowd roars, but they begin to murmur as they're trying to look at this challenge, look at the room that you're in, look at what's going on, and they're trying to work it out themselves. But to give you a little bit of background of what you are genuinely seeing here, I need to. No, that's the Trial of Glory. Sorry, I'm just going up to my notes here. 1 second. Where is he? There. One challenge 1, week 1 challenge 2. Come on, where are you? Man,
What's your intelligence total?
My intelligence is a +1. No,
Oh, okay.
wait. Correction. It's a +0.
Oh, good. We're in the same boat then.
Wisdom is a +3.
Mine's just a +1.
So, in this room, you see those training dummies that are to either side. You see the banners at the back of the room, and you realise that this is a trial of 3 false doors. After the opening blood trial, the handbook has often framed a second trial as a test of tactics, problem solving, deception, awareness, and battlefield intelligence.
You got this.
In the middle of the room of this staged ruin built inside the arena, it appears to be an ancient champion's tomb with 3 grand doors. Obviously, they are just banner pick. You just pick the banners accordingly. The herald turns just before he leaves and simply says, "Retrieve the bronze victory token from the central chamber and escape before the timer runs out," and leaves. The arena has been dressed with the broken pillars, the false statues, old banners, and what would be 3 great doors behind those banners, for the most part. The golden lion, the eagle, and above the third is the laurel wreath. The centre of the chamber rests the bronze chest on a circular stone seal. The crowd hushes, not silent, they're never silent, but hungry in a very different way.
So one of these doors holds the bronze token. We have to figure out which one has it. Correct?
The bronze victory token is in the middle of the arena, in the seal, in that bronze chest.
Ah, okay.
Your job is to retrieve it.
Okay. Oh dear. Should I approach one of the statues, this one here,
Yes.
and examine it?
You can indeed. As you examine the statue, you are. Roll me an investigation check if that's indeed what you are doing.
Don't screw me over. Thanks, dice. I rolled a 7.
The crowd seems a bit curious about what you're doing. They look, they're wondering, they're hesitant. Thought can be such a dangerous such a dangerous wound sometimes. And as you're investigating, you don't hear it. You don't see it happen. You don't even hear the click from the pressure plate in front of the statue.
So,
I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw, as there is a bolt that shoots out from the wall in front of this statue.
I get a dirty 20.
You manage to dodge away from the bolt just in time.
That was rude.
The crowd cheer at the miss half-heartedly. Maybe a little upset that it didn't hit.
Are you not amused?
You hear a small chuckle from the crowd as you say that loudly enough that they can hear. Rask, what would you like to do?
Well, Rask was about to take a few steps forward, and then seeing that happen to Noctis, he done stopped in his tracks
Uh-huh.
and is now rethinking his decision. So, because my initial idea was he was going to walk to the center to check to see if there was any thing on the pedestal that would give them any kind of clue. But now he's realizing there's possible traps. My idea is he's going to very lightly, essentially, shuffle along the floor, letting just the tips of his claws hit. So
Yep.
he's moving slowly, and to check to see if his claws catch onto any slightly raised pressure plates.
Smart.
For any traps ahead of him, because he is going to go to the center. He just doesn't want to activate any traps, so he's going to essentially go slowly to each little edge. If it's clear, he's going to move along. If it's not, he'll either move left or right, depending on.
You are clear all the way up to the seal itself, the outer circle of the seal.
No traps up to
Stop there. Yeah. As you reach your claw forward, there is an active barrier, magical force that seems to be preventing you from pushing in.
Okay, so I've had a feeling there had been something there, but I figured if we could get to the center, it might have like words or something that would give you a little hint on it.
What you can see what you can see from where you stand on the center of this pedestal is that there are indeed 3 symbols on the pedestal that match with each of those banners.
Okay. What's the order of the emblems on there?
The order of the emblems is the same as the order that is on the wall. There is no difference between them.
Damn. I was hoping there would have been like a specific order of how it was done on there versus how it's done in the room.
Nope, does not seem to be. But this is just the first round, so you've got an action that you can take.
My lord. All right, go on. Action. What action?
Anything you'd like to do.
Hit and hold. Try to see if you can do the same thing as Noctis, as he's just going to slowly make his repeat the same thing, slowly make his way towards the statue over here to his right.
Yep. Deliberately to the side of it. Yes.
Okay. Any? I guess
You
I'll
don't.
have to roll investigation for that.
Yep. Roll an investigation check for me then, if that's what you wish to do.
Looking for any emblems or iconography on
the statue itself, of course.
Yeah. Or any words and such.
Love the word iconography. Beautiful.
I don't see shit.
Yep. Unfortunately, you don't find any iconography or words or anything of that nature. Not even a scratch, other than where it's been shuffled in and put into place.
Bird brain and reptile brain here.
Literally.
That, however, will be the end of the first round, the first part of the timer, as the crowd begins to get a little bit. Ooh, they're getting a bit excited. They're looking at what's going on. You can tell that they may have figured something out from where from where they're looking down at the puzzle before you.
I think I've figured something out. I could test my hypothesis.
Go for it.
So, weary of any further pressure plates, Noctis is going to fly to this circle thing here.
Yes.
And I'm going to not land on it, but I'd like to check it for any hidden mechanisms.
You're going to investigate for any mechanisms. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check then.
Come on, D&D Beyond, don't do me dirty. Yeah, that's better.
What do you roll?
16.
On a 16, you can see that this little plinth beneath your feet, well, maybe an inch beneath your feet because you haven't landed yet, is indeed a mechanism in itself that seems to turn on these combat dummies, these training racks in the pits that are before you.
Turn them on. Did
It
I activate it?
You can if you wish.
I'm going to regret it, but I'm going to activate it.
As
I'm
you
going to tentatively reach your foot down.
as you tentatively reach your foot down and you press the circular disc into the floor so that it becomes plush and level, you hear the click and then you hear a chain being pulled by something, whether it's a clockwork mechanical wind of some kind underneath the ground, but you can hear that chain going back and forth, and you see all of these wooden training dummies basically start to turn left to right, back and forth. And the crowd sort of looks up and, jump in, see if you could dodge them, get from one end to the other. Show us you can do it without using your wings. Pretend you're wingless.
I'm going to agree to what the crowd says.
Okay, what side do you wish to start from, the top or the bottom?
I'm just going to get
From the
pinballed.
bottom.
So move your piece to the bottom of the rows as these continue to move back and forth. This is going to be a bit of a test, and the first test is going to be your dexterity as you are essentially trying to weave your way through the first row of about 6 of these, 2 each side, as you're trying to move through the middle with the obvious goal of not getting hit.
Okay, D&D Beyond, Lady Luck, don't screw me over.
And the crowd cheers as you enter. And with a 13, the first 2 you manage to get past, and then you stop just there as the third almost hits you, but you pull your chest in and it just misses. And you get an ooh coming from the crowd as it just misses you. Now I want you to roll me either acrobatics or a dex check, whichever you prefer, for the next row of these training arms.
Let's do that acrobatics +4. Come on. Dirty 20.
On a dirty 20, you start performing some acrobatics as you begin to believe you've worked out what the pattern is here. As you are using your acrobatics, would you like to describe how you're weaving your way through these?
Yes, the crowd watches as I begin a very intricate dance of movement as I duck and weave and bob side to side, avoiding most of the swipes.
Very good. You get about halfway and then you hear a click under your feet. And from the wall opposite you that you are facing as you are moving forwards, you see a small panel open.
Cerebral.
And the first dart flies out. Roll me another dexterity save.
Didn't I? Oh, dexterity save. Sorry, hang on, wrong one. That was just standard. That is 15.
On a 15, the first one, you're fine. You managed to see it coming and you managed to dodge out the way without getting hit by any of the poles. The first one is fine as you make another move forwards. This time it seems to be a little trickier because you've just realised there's more arms at the back here on these ones, on this next lot, as you continue to move forwards. So you are now just by the halfway point on that if you want to move your token up, by the way. So there's a few more arms on this, and the difficulty has just gotten a little bit trickier, and it seems these ones are a bit closer to the cogs that are moving them. So they're moving a little bit faster as well. So acrobatics or standard dexterity check, whichever you prefer. See if you can get past the next one.
Oh no.
As you go to dodge, weave, bob and roll, and woo the crowd somewhat more as you try and weave your way through this challenge, you get struck in the back by one that you thought you'd just managed to get past, and it hits you for a total of 3 points of bludgeoning damage as it hits and strikes your lower back. Wincing somewhat, you realise that wasn't just a single dart. There's another one is now flying towards you. I need a dexterity saving throw.
$17.
Fortunately, as you realise that wasn't going to be the only dart coming out of that tube, you managed to dodge your head down and step forwards. You have been hit once, and the crowd has gone and given that ooh. But they're still cheering you on. They still believe that you can make it through to the end. And you've got one more final dexterity check or acrobatics to make as you prepare and steel yourself for the final run. And you can see that these ones are moving extremely fast. You're going to have to judge this one carefully.
Oh, come on. Acrobatics. Don't do me bad. 15.
Just managed to scrape through it as you manage to work it out by the skin of your teeth. More luck than judgment, you think? But either way, you managed to make it through, and the crowd roar at your success in getting past. You turn, you look up, and you realise you are only a few feet away from that trap on the wall, and there is a button next to it. But it has now just launched its next dart. I need a dexterity saving throw, and you have a higher DC on this, as you have less time to react to it.
If I save this, I have a great description.
Unfortunately, that hits, and the darts will deal 1d4 plus 1, and I rolled a 4. Dart will deal 5 points of damage as it hits you square in the chest.
Oh! I take the dart into my chest, but I stand and raise my hand to the crowd.
They see you wince ever so slightly through the pain of the dart hitting, see you raise your hand, and they cheer you on regardless. There's a few oohs and sharp in-draw of breaths, but they do ultimately cheer you on as you reach forward and smash that button that seals the dart trap shut.
I smashed that like button.
And with that, the crowd seemed to be somewhat entertained by this. And in doing this optional extra on the map, you have entertained them and you have earned 1 favour.
Oh, that was optional? Oh my god. That's vicious. Me, DM.
You hear the arena herald turn and say, well, it seems they have the dexterity. But now can they work out what the puzzle is?
Not particularly. That's still stumping me. Can we use our favour to figure out a clue?
I would allow it, but the crowd, before you spend it, the crowd have started to stand up somewhat, and they are chanting, choose, 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 choose.
Choose what?
Roll me an intelligence check,
Oh, wait, wonderful. Yeah.
both of you.
Standard intelligence here. That's an 8. It's all on you, Turtle. Take the pressure.
Natural 20.
You realise that there is one link from this chest in the middle, where this seal is, to each of those doors, or the fake doors, the banners at the back of the room.
Oh, yeah.
And you realise with your natural 20, you only need to pick one.
But which one? Oh, my God.
You have a lion, you have the eagle, and you have the laurel wreath.
Okay. Well,
Lion's bravery. Reef victory. Eagle. What was an eagle? Courage?
The crowd is still chanting.
You rolled the natural 20, Turtle. You get to pick.
Has Turtle disappeared?
no, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm
That
just
noise
trying
you can
to
hear is a
figure it
twinkling.
out because with little to no information on other than the images of what each one would represent, basic thing would be golden lion, the pride of the lion. An eagle, I wouldn't know what that would technically represent. And then the laurel is essentially a common symbol for gladiators, but I highly doubt they would hide it in the behind a gladiator door because that'd just be too simple.
Hmm.
It could be a false play, a little red herring to it. I'm not sure.
I will give you a clue as you look at these three doors with that natural 20 you received. So, with the door of the lion, with the lion's head on it, you do spot that just behind the banner and at the bottom and tucked around the corner appears to be a couple of skeleton bones. By the door of the of the eagle, you spot that there is indeed what appears to be several loose, coiled up tripwires dotted around just behind where it stands. And the third door with the laurel wreath on it, well, it looks almost disappointing as you look at it. Paint is faded, frame is chipped, and the wreath symbol above it has been carved upside down.
So, skeletons, tripwires, decrepit. Well, I'd say the lion. It's got skelly bobs in it.
Yeah, but lion could also represent that there's a massive beast behind it that is going to consume and attack The river opens.
But if you look at the meaning of the iconography, the laurel wreath can mean victory or peace. Lion can mean courage. And I haven't got a clue what an eagle can mean.
Well, an eagle. The eagle was a famous symbol carried by the Roman armies, if you recall your history.
Oh, yes, the eagle standard.
Mm.
Well,
Hmm.
good God.
I'm
My
going
But
to
turn.
go as far as say that technically. I'm
and
going to take the chance,
uh-huh.
and if I end up dying from it, it was a good game. But Rask is going to go to the Laurel.
Okay. As you walk up to the laurel door, you do spot that the laurel wreath being upside down can be turned up the right way with ease.
He would probably do that one.
The the banner furls itself up as you rotate the laurel, and behind you you hear and see the walls almost falling down over the two pits that had the armed training dummies in them. There is no fight. There's no noise, as it were. Instead, what you see being pushed up to where those walls have come down is four fresh sets of stonework. And on each one, there are carved names of former champions. 3 of them are clean. You can read them clearly. Tronos, Varkos, and Draco. You can read those 3 clearly, but the 4th one has been scratched out. And as you step down from the banner that's now furled itself up, you see in the middle of the arena where these 4 statues are that the base of them clicks upwards and slides up. And you see 4 spinning blades, one from the base of each of these 4 statues. Noctis,
Yes.
you are standing right in the way of one of them.
Sorry about that. Can I do an acrobatic? Can I do an athletically powerful jump over it?
You would have to play jump rope if you wanted to do that, because these are
Yep.
spinning constantly around.
Or should I just fly up into the air?
You can indeed.
I will do that and fly above them.
Let me just make a nice mark on the maps for you. Hopefully, it will allow me to draw a circle.
Yeah, you should be able to. I'd advise to fly up and then move and immediately land.
Yes. Yes, I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to fly up and land behind Rask.
Fair enough.
That's a hard note from me. I've dodged the dummies. I'm not dodging the blades.
Oh, but those dummies were just the warm-up. Oh, Rask, you are lucky you are just outside of that one.
I was watching that and I was like, oh shit, oh shit. And then, yeah,
Disembowel.
if I had a beard, that'd be a close shave.
It certainly would. It certainly would. But I am putting these on so that you can actually see the area that it covers. You realise there is a small, thin channel in the middle that you might be able to get through. You also realise that the barrier has been dropped. But
There's a but. There's a but.
is that really all that there is? Just these statues with spinning blades? Makes you wonder.
Don't do that. That's a horrible mind game. God,
It's up to you. What do you wish to do?
Uh, so there's a thin channel between the blue banner and the casket where we've got to get to.
Yes.
All
I'm
right.
going to lock these, that way I can't accidentally lose them.
I'm going to take the gauntlet and try and get between this thin gauntlet.
Okay.
Rest is going to walk up the stairs, hop over and get nowhere.
Okay. On foot, I assume?
Yes, I'm going to not do this flying for the crowd's benefit.
The
To show
crowd
them that I am not just the sum of my wings.
the crowd honestly give you a look of respect as they see you approaching this gauntlet, as you just called it, on foot. So, as you are looking down this channel where the blades are not going to hit you, you do see that there are 3 levers that have popped up in front of the chest. One of gold, one of bronze, and one of silver.
Okay.
If anyone would like to investigate them,
Yes, go on. Let's do an investigation. Don't do me dirty, please. Yes, 19.
okay. And you're walking straight up towards it?
Yes, I'm going to walk very carefully so as not to get these blades that are
Stop.
within an arm's inch of me.
Stop.
Me, stop.
Yes.
Oh, don't say that.
Here.
Mm,
As you approach where the magical force was stopping you from entering before, you feel that there is something else. And as you look down, You see that there is a channel that runs around the edge here, and it seems to be filling with water, flowing in from several holes dotted all the way around. And those holes are wide enough to probably flood this room in about 10 minutes tops. The stairs that you entered into this place, you realize they go up as a part of your exit. And there are no other holes that you're aware of that you can see in the floor, except for the two raised chutes that are at the front of the room. But by the time water spills over into that, this chamber's already filled. So, without further ado, move up to those levers, which are in front of the chest, and make your choice. With an investigation check of 20, you realise that one of them has a picture of running water on it, or the markings and symbolism for water on it. One of them has the markings and symbolism for what appears to be air on it, and the other one has the markings and symbolism for what appears to be death upon it.
What marking does the bronze lever have?
The bronze lever has the markings of air.
Air, water, and death.
Yep. The gold.
I will.
The gold one has the marking of death. The bronze has air, and the silver has water.
I'm gonna pull the bronze one, I believe.
For air.
Yes.
Final call.
So, final answer. 50-50, final friend.
Go for it. It's your it's your good roll for that, so I'll acquiesce to you.
Mm-hmm.
As
as you reach down and pull the lever for air, you hear a gasp coming from the crowds. You hear the cheers going up, and at the same time you hear the sharp sudden stop as they realise what's happened. They thought you were reaching for the chest. Then they saw what you actually pulled, the lever for air. All around you as you're standing inside, that magical force that was there before preventing you from getting in flies upwards around the outside of this seal.
Oh, good.
Water is trickling in fast, and it's filling this little circle up now. You have about 30 foot of space above you before you hit that same force barrier. So flying out isn't an option.
Ugh, I should have pressed the silver one.
You have taken your action. What would you like to do, Rask? The room is filling. Well, the circle here is filling.
You pulled the air lever, and it sealed us into this little circle.
Yes.
No, for sure, not going to touch the death lever. Don't think I also want to touch the water lever. If I'm not mistaken, water is flowing into this with us, correct?
Yep. You will find yourself in 3 turns, i.e., after 3 actions each, that this has completely flooded, and you will be underwater.
I'll be all right for a little bit because I know I can hold my breath for about 15 minutes is what it states.
Mm-hmm.
Raskin's going to just see if he can open the case.
You reach over
He'll
and
reach over and with the 2 tips of his claws, if it has a latch on, he's going to slowly just flick the latch open and then very slowly lift it up, if just in case it has a trap. He's going to be on the side of it.
It's a trap.
you reach over, you unlock the latch, and it comes open. The chest opens without any issue.
Okay.
And inside that chest, you see that it contains a bronze victory token, a folded betting chit, and what appears to be a small hook. It's got a little eye on the end, so you could probably attach a rope to it and use it in combat if you wanted to.
So it's got the bronze token,
Yes.
folded betting chips.
Yep, a
And
folded
a
betting
book.
chit and a hook.
Oh, a hook. I thought you said a book.
No, hook. H-O-O-K.
Great. I got it. All right. First thing he's going to grab is going to be the bronze token.
Mm.
But slowly, because you ain't going to, full on trigger something if you can possibly win it. But yeah, it's going to reach in, grab the token, nothing happens, no worrying of
You grab the token,
gears and
nothing happens.
such.
You have the victory token, but now you remember the words of the Herald of the Arena. Can you escape?
No. Now what we need, can you flip the switch again to see if it frees us from this?
Hmm.
Hopefully that lets us out so we can get at them.
Noctis?
Yes. So I assume you've flipped the air switch again.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
He's not wanting to touch the switches. He's asking if you will do it.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll flip
You
the air
flick
switch.
it. It's more of a lever, and you push the lever back. And indeed, as you push the lever back, there's a moment or two where you are waiting. The lid of the chest slams shut. Now, you can't pull it open again. It's locked in place. Tell me, did you get everything out of that chest? I know you got the victory token. Did you
Turtle.
pull out the
No.
folded betting chit or the hook? No. Okay, you left those in there. They are locked, but the magical force barrier that is around comes back down, and the 4 spinning blades that's from the base of these statues begins to whir and start spinning up again.
The task was to get the bronze token. He got the bronze token.
You got the bronze token indeed.
How heavy is your character?
I don't know.
He's a lizard.
He's a medium-sized lizard man.
What's the general weight range of a medium-sized adult lizard?
Are you trying to think about carrying him?
I just want to know his general weight because my idea might be a bit bravado, but I need to know his weight.
The general weight of the average adult lizard folk standing between 6 to 7 feet tall, medium,
200, 250 pounds.
is about 200 to 250 pounds, yes.
Right, okay, cool. My carrying capacity is 270 pounds, but I can push, drag, or lift 540 pounds. So you've got the token, the lid is shut, the barrier's down. I am going to action dash out of here this way. But as I do so, I'm going, my feet, my talons on my feet are going to hook onto the collar of Rask and drag him along behind me.
Okay, so
And
first of
so
all,
we land at the stairs. Yes.
Rask, are you going to allow this? The water, by the way, that was filling up starts spilling out into the rest of the room. So the levels come down again. But it's still filling. And it is still filling up. So just bear that in mind. This is difficult terrain. Unless you've got swim speed.
So yes.
Yeah, I don't think he would allow that to happen because he has no concern with the water. He'd just start making his way there. And yes, I would have a 30 feet movement of swim speed.
There we go.
And as it, I guess, as it starts to get to a point where it makes it harder for him just to walk normal, he'll just drop down a bit and kind of slither through the water like a gator swimming.
Fair enough.
You see the tail just flick side to side as he just.
As you both make your way out, the torches at the top of the stairs roar to life. The flame lights up on both of them. You can see the exit in front of you as the door begins to close. Almost as if something or someone is trapping you in here.
What are the doors made of?
Stone.
Okay, that won't work. Can I throw my trident between the doors to try and jam them open?
If you did, and you successfully landed the throw, it will jam them open. It will either jam them open with only maybe an inch, as you won't get as unless you roll a nat 20, you'll only have the handle basically holding those doors open slightly, because they are closing inwards, like sideways, so they're sliding closed to meet in the middle. So you'll only have about an inch if your trident makes it, unless you roll on that 20, and then you'll have about however wide the tip is. But even then, it's the door with a d20 roll against your trident to see if your trident will break or not. And I can tell you now, the door will win, most likely. So, you have about 10 seconds to get out before you're trapped in.
Let's just dash through the open door before it's
Yep.
Okay. It is getting very, very narrow, so I want a acrobatics or athletics check from both of you as you try to make your way out through the closing gap of the door.
I've got
Raskus,
+6 over on the
as he's
12.
in the water, he's just going to rapidly thrash his tail to speed up. And instead of getting up to his full feet to stand up, he's just going to essentially, on his hands and feet, skitter up the stairs and go that way.
Okay. As
And
you
my
make it up, with a 9, Noctis, with your 12, we'll deal with your case first. As you are making your way up with dash, you do manage to just slip through in time. 12 was the DC. By a hair's breadth. By a single one of your owlin feathers, which did get plucked from your wing as you got through. And you can see it. You can see it held there in the door from the outside. But you look back. You do not see Rask. He does not appear to have made it.
If I can I do one thing before it fully closes in and trust me in there?
Of course you can.
Can I toss the bronze token through the door just before it closes?
I will allow the action, yes. Give me a sleight of hand check, please.
Proper Indiana Jones.
Uh-huh.
Was it 13?
Yes. 13, you managed to pull out the token and throw it through the closing gap of the door, and it lands directly there in front of Noctis's feet, or talons, I should say. And as it lands there, those doors clink close with a heavy thud of stone on stone. And you reach down, you pick up the token, and you hold it up. And as you hold it up, you hear the horn. Inside the room that you are currently trapped in, you turn around and you see that the tall drainage pillars that were stopping the water from escaping has fallen into the floor, into the ground below. And the water is now beginning to drain out through the drains that are there, designed specifically for this purpose. And a few moments later, you breathe a sigh of relief as the doors in front of you open once more and allow you out.
No, I seemed I was just going to float around until I drowned. All right. He walks on through. That was my assumption. I thought I was screwed either way. So he was like, if he needs the token, I'm going to just toss him the token. Hope he can have it.
Uh-huh. Oh, dear.
Hello, my boy.
Yeah, had a nice little soak.
That was vicious, you mean? You still got a favour
Crowd,
there.
you did win a favour. And the crowd roars as they see that not only could you outthink the environment and succeed in your challenge, but they could also see valor in your action, as you were willing to sacrifice yourself for the victory of the team and the victory of the games. Now, as you all step back, you retire into your chambers where you once again can rest up, roll your hit dice to regain your hit points. You see Vanko come in, and he looks up at you. Seems like the crowd has given you a favour. I would advise you hold on to that. The next challenge might be a bit tricky.
Trickier than that one? How?
It's a challenge of glory. Now, unfortunately, in our experience in the past, these tend to end one of two ways, neither of which tend to be pretty. But there was something else, wasn't there? You got your victory token, which is awesome, by the way. Well done. Not many people figure that puzzle out. But that wasn't meant to be an eagle. And I saw the armed guards they had waiting to pile into the room outside if the eagle was picked. You would literally have been coming up against an army. Well, first two rows of a Roman battalion in terms of its size, just to give you the idea and picture. You would have been, shall we say, trapped, surrounded, and forced to surrender. And you would have lost that challenge. Which would have been embarrassing. But that wasn't meant to be an eagle. That was meant to be a raven, a black raven standard. This is the second time that I've noticed this. Someone is changing the challenges last minute, and I am not aware of who. There seems to be a saboteur afoot. Someone who doesn't want you to win.
Well, let's prove him wrong.
And I've just seen the chit, and the next challenge of glory is supposed to be a challenge where you walk in, you see what appears to be a convicted prisoner set up on the rack, awaiting his execution. And it would be on your heads to choose whether he is executed or not. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what we've had here on the slate for the last 3 weeks as what the challenge is. Can you make the correct judgment? Can you prove or get him to prove or disprove his or her innocence in form of a trial? Can you will you bow and break to the peer pressure of the crowd as they cast their votes? There's something tells me something's wrong with these challenges. 2 changed in as many games as we've played here this year. And both at the last minute.
So you're
I-
saying the person we have to judge may not be
It,
what it
some,
seems.
quite possibly they could probably just throw someone who's innocent, and stating that they're not necessarily.
I would keep your eyes and ears peeled. Keep your wits about you, because you will either have to prove or disprove their innocence or guilt. You'll have to determine that they are indeed the person that it says on the slate. They are supposed to be one of the prisoners here, one of the rather unfortunate and misbehaved slaves that we have in the arena, who unfortunately decided that he was going to try and rob some of the treasury. He had a trusted position, if it is indeed that prisoner. He had a trusted position and he broke that trust. As your Lannister, I will say, he is supposed to be guilty, and it is supposed to test your resolve as to whether you can obey the crowd when they hear the answers and the calls and the questions that you receive from the prisoner, and they vote for his execution. It's whether you would bow to the peer pressure or break under your own resolve as to whether you can or not kill in and execute the prisoner. They were indeed guilty, which is the reason why they were brought in.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
You're saying somebody's changing the games and that the person in the chair may not be the right person. We need to disprove that. Is there a question we could ask them that only the right person would know?
Unfortunately, I don't know. All I know is that this prisoner was working in our treasury here at the Ludus. They were trusted, and then they became untrustworthy and found actually guilty originally. I can answer you no more. And by the shadow of the sun, your time is almost up. So make sure you're nicely refreshed before you go in.
Does this person have any distinguishing features we should look out for?
I cannot answer that. I do not know.
Okay.
Just know that someone is trying to cheat and or sabotage the system.
Well, let us go and disprove this person wrong.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And Vanka walks away. Once again, after a few moments, you see the clerk walk by with the red gloves on his hand as he takes a look around the room and looks at you. Takes a look at his slate, puts a chalk mark on it, looks over at you. Don't fancy your odds. But you've surprised me. Unfortunately, you surprised the bookies and all. There's a few people that have earned quite a bit of money out of you, including myself.
What certainly are our odds?
On this one, at the moment, they've got 3-1 that you'll get it right.
We get any money for winning these 3 games?
No, you get that when you get through to the arena at the end, and you've got to make sure you win against the other team. They'll be coming through
What's
in
the
the next.
ruling on placing bets on our own? On our own.
Placing bets on yourself, there's no rule against it. It's not that you can't, it's just that most people here generally don't because they can't afford it because they're trying to earn their freedom for one reason or another. You two, you seem to be doing this for the fun of it, which is a bit odd. The first team in, and you volunteered to join in on the games. You got a death wish or something?
No, I've fought in many luduses, but this is the pinnacle of my career.
Well, you make the champion here and you'll be known across the entire region. That there's no doubt. Hell, half of Albion might even hear your name in the news.
I kind of just got bored working on the marshalling, so I use a bit of gold.
I'll put that note down. One, testing his metal in the... Okay, testing his metal. The other was bored. Well, you being bored and deciding to join of your own accord, well, that's going to boost the odds in your... Well, that's going to boost the odds against you in the favour of... You know how these things work anyway. But you being here, well, that's going to lower your odds a little bit because you've been through the ringer a few times. So you know what's coming, you know what's going, and you know how these things are supposed to work. So that's, yeah. Not going to earn as much out of you individually, but him, here because he's bored, wanted something fun to do. Trying to treat this like the ninja challenges that they have at the monastery, aren't you? Oh, maybe you've done a few of those.
No, not really.
You say you're a monk. Well, you put down on the paperwork you're a bit of a monk. Yeah?
Well, I've been training in a monastery. More of my stuff is from dodging raging rams trying to trample me, or the occasional knucklehead trout springing from the water to try to take me out while I'm fishing.
Training,
little bugger.
in training in monastery. That's good. That's good. Might give you a little bit of an edge, you never know. Anyway, well, good luck to you in the next challenge. Challenge of glory. Trial of the guilty. Make sure you get the right result, eh? And he stops, he marks another thing on his slate and walks off. Walks out the room.
What a cheerful fellow.
Well, let's see. Supposedly this guy is, or was, working within the treasury. Broke said trust. Is supposedly guilty of it. But there is a possible chance that he might not be the right guy. Also, could be right guy, but wrong paperwork.
Well,
Right paperwork, wrong guy.
Find out.
Indeed, you will find out in due course.
He essentially goes quiet as he starts to think to himself on what to expect and all, and as he does, he just reaches up and just lightly scratches at some of his scales on the back of his head.
I'm just going to sit there and stare.
The arena herald begins to call once more for the champions to stand up through their heroic deeds so far, the challenges they've faced, the glory that you've brought to your team, the respect whilst being cruel beasts and cunning tricksters. As he calls your team's name, "Fair mortals, please step forth."
Come
And
on,
you
farm
step
boy. That's the
out.
event.
And you step out into an arena that you should be able to see here.
Oh my god, that looks awesome. Yeah, fire. Ooh.
Indeed, lava channels have been opened up into the arena floor, forming this beautiful crosshatch. Couple of small bridges over, lava's burning away and bubbling nicely. Small bridge to where the execution is to happen. And you can see at the far end there is indeed someone who has been chained down to the platform up high. You immediately notice that there are two executioners, one either side of the plinth, facing you as you walk in from point C at the base of this map. I see Rask has already put his token on, which is awesome. Saves me a job.
Yep.
Noctis.
Yeah, there I am.
And you are there. Each of those squares is 5 foot, by the way, approximately. It's just your tokens are a bit small on this map. I do apologise. But you see before you the 6 pillars, the 6 small plinths and pillars. And each one of these has steps that lead up to it. And as you walk out into the arena herald explains, each of you will have 3 questions to prove or disprove the innocence of this individual. The arena traitor trial begins when the first of you steps on a plinth in front of you. The chained individual at the far end is chained down on the plinth, and you can't see them clearly enough from where you are because of how raised the platform is at the end. But you can see the banner with the laurel wreath and the arena's sort of mark and logo there above where he is. And you see directly above that is the box where probably some of the more important people in this city would be watching from. And indeed, it is occupied. You don't know who the governor is, who the ruler of this town is, but you do know they're there. And the crowd roars, "Question, question, question." As you step forward, the arena herald turns and hands you each the same piece of paperwork, what appears to be a report. And on it, you realise the box where the report of what he's done is empty. The only thing on there is his name, Ronin Pascal.
Who wants to ask the first question?
Whoever wants to ask the first question should stand on the first set of plinths on their relative side of the map.
I'm guessing
Yes,
these.
that's correct.
Okay.
Do you want me to ask first, or do you want to go
Well-
first, Turtle?
Well, I have something that I'm going to say, but I don't know if it'd be used as a question. This is kind of like I'm worried about genie wish rules and monkey paw theory. But if I say this, it's gonna eat up one of the questions. Because if he's seeing the paper and he's seeing there's missing information, he's going to question that.
Yes, of course.
And I don't want to say it and it being using up said one of three questions.
Save it for your final question.
Each of the questions that are asked have to be asked to the prisoner directly.
Okay. So as long as I'm on the plinth, it counts as a question directly towards the prisoner, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So now with that knowledge, Grass is going to look at him and go, how do you expect us to do this with shoddy paperwork?
You have to judge
Then
whether
this
they're
is
innocent or
information.
not. And the arena herald walks out. The crowd are chanting. They're looking for your questions. Prove their guilt. Prove their guilt. You're hearing the chants come up.
He's gonna, all right, he'll make his way to a plinth and hop up onto it.
Okay.
And what did you say his name was again? I know it was something Pascal.
Ronin Pascal.
He'll get up onto it and think for a bit and go, Mr. Pascal, could you please tell me what you're being charged with?
There's a pause for a moment, and you hear a deep male voice come from the plinth where he's chained. Charged with theft from the arena treasury. Roll me a perception check.
Well, 20.
You hear an undertone in the voice that sounds restrained or otherwise suppressed. Will the next champion to be step upon the plinth and ask a question?
Wait. I'm going to try something. Brass is going to look over at Noctis and give him a slight wave to come closer.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, I'm going to get him to calling him over because he wants to relay something to him.
Yep.
And essentially also saying if he gets stopped, if he's able to come over, then he's going to relay to him that it sounded like his voice was a little restrained. So
Yep. You can relay that
issue,
information.
Or concern to it. And then if he wasn't, yeah. And yeah. Next question then.
Okay.
What question will you ask?
What was your occupation, Mr. Pascal?
Once again, there's a slight delay and a hesitation before you receive the answer. Slave to the arena treasurer. Trusted to do bookwork. Roll me a perception check.
Perception check. 11.
To you, it sounds nominal.
No.
Next questions. Executioner B on... I've labelled them both B. Whoops. Sorry, my bad. We'll say the one in front of Turtle's character, Rask, is Executioner B, and the other one in front of Flaps' character is Executioner C. Okay? So Executioner B steps up, and he stands on the plinth at the end, in front of this prisoner. And he calls out to you in particular, Rask. What right or law do you believe you have the allowance of judgment and execution upon this individual? Under what rule or justification can you offer?
Mm,
Good question.
Can I get a little clarification on your question?
What right do you believe you have to judge this individual upon this platform? I'm going to use the Death Knights as the token to identify where they are at this moment. But don't worry, I'm not using their stats because that is overpowered for what you are. And
Yeah.
you shouldn't need to go into combat with them anyway, unless you really want to.
No. That's right. No, thanks.
Yeah, no, you won't be facing Death Knight. I've actually got a completely separate stat block should you choose to go against them instead of whatever. Anyway, carry on.
Rask essentially thinks for a bit and look, essentially turns his head up to look with his eyes closed, almost like he's looking to the sky, and then lightly scratching under his chin. I don't know. Technically, as a simple fella, I don't have any right to cast judgment upon another. Only ones that really have those capabilities are those that are in charge or the great creators that are beyond our comprehension. But I feel that if we deem this necessary, it could also end up with it being innocent. So he wouldn't be guilty of any crime. Therefore, he would be free to go. But should he be seen guilty, it would be Mm. All right.
As you give the answer and you begin to hesitate and falter in what you are saying, you find that this executioner does not step down off the plinth. Effectively, you have lost one question, Rask.
Yeah, I figured that much.
The other executioner steps up onto the plinth, and to you, Noctis, he says the same question. What right do you have to judge this individual?
I
How
have
are
no
you?
rights according to the law of the land, but I have been asked to judge this individual, and if the individual is guilty, then the crime must fit the punishment.
He doesn't budge off the plinth. You also have lost one question.
Oh, good Lord.
As the crowd ums and ahs and oohs ever so, varying and wavering in their opinions, it's now split 50-50 amongst the crowd as to whether they like you and trust you to judge and or execute this prisoner or not. You've split the crowd with your first set of questions. The herald calls out from the parapet above where the execution may or may not take place. And he says, the only correct answer to this question, as we know in this arena, is that it is the judgment of the people who judges his innocence or guilt after the questions have been asked. They who ask the questions has no right.
That's what I said.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I said I have no right under the laws of the land, but the crime should fit the punishment.
You said you have no rights, but you also said you have been asked to. You did say you have been asked to judge.
Yeah, true. But that was after I said that I know I have no rights.
That's the reason why the crowd is now split 50-50. The crowd, half of the crowd understands that you know you have no rights, but the other half of the crowd heard what they wanted to hear, which is, oh, he believes he's high and mighty and has the right to do this. The crowd hears what they want to hear. It's that social twist of perception.
Social economics.
It's a slippery slope. Social economics, you said it just now. Yes. Rask, it is your go. You can move forwards to the next plinth if you wish to ask your next question of the prisoner. Yeah, go around the lava pit, not through it. That will burn you.
Love a chicken.
Hmm. Yeah, he would have definitely avoided the screaming hot lava that is there.
Hmm.
After the second prince, but he wouldn't have got on right off the back because he would have taken a bit to think of exactly how he wanted to ask the next question.
Yeah.
So essentially, if Noctis has one lined up, he can go ahead.
I do, yes.
I will allow you to refer to Marcus and hold your action, which is to get up on that plinth and ask your question. Okay.
Okay.
As you
Okay,
step up onto the plinth, the crowd, half cheering, asking, chanting, question, question, question.
Okay, I've been thinking about this one. This
Mhm.
one is going to be a bit of a deep question. Pascal, knowing you must tell the truth, are you being coerced?
There is a gasp that comes up from the crowd as you ask this question, and the executioner that is on the plinth opposite you steps down and starts taking a slow stroll. He gets about halfway before a hand is raised from the parapet above the prisoner. He looks up, he sees the hand raised in a fist as if to say stop, and he obeys.
Good.
Pascal on the plinth chained down, Ronin Pascal, after a delay once again, you hear the words, not coerced. This is torture, though.
Hmm.
Rask.
As the night stepped down, does that mean I've got another question now?
As the executioner has stepped down and is now stopped, you've asked that question. The reaction from the crowd is one of short, sharp, shocked inhales of air.
Hmm. Hmm. I think I know what just happened.
Do you? Because I ain't got monkeys.
Oh, what
Are
did
they?
I just say about genie wishes and monkey paws?
I don't even know what that means.
A genie can always screw up your wish. A monkey paw always screws up your wish. You have to be very specific with what you do. Look where you're standing. And now realize what you just said.
Right.
You just asked a question while on the plinth.
Yeah.
Therefore, theoretically, you just used said question, which would also
Yeah.
be your third question.
That hurts my head.
Explain it to him in plain English.
All right. We each get 3 questions. But in order to ask the question, you have to be on the plinth. You're currently on your second plinth. You just asked a question about a third question while on top of it. So
Mhm.
essentially, you just asked your third question.
Good God. That's my intelligence level.
Don't worry. I know that question was supposed to be aimed at me as the DM, but there is a crowd and they are oohing and offering short, sharp gasps before they realise
Oh,
it was not being asked directly, and it was more a self-philosophizing rhetorical question that your character asked while standing on the plinth.
yeah.
The executioner looks up, smiles. No more questions for you. And he raises his great axe that you can see clearly has not been cleaned of any blood from any of the executions that he's had done in the past.
That is unhygienic.
Rask, you held your action to step up onto the plinth. Now is your chance before the other executioner does something.
All right. I think I might have something.
Mm-hmm.
Russ is going to hop up and here doesn't happen like this. Sir Pascal, you are charged with breaking trust of the Treasury. Can you, in your own words, tell me exactly what you did to break said trust? And I'm essentially asking him what exactly he did
Mm-hmm.
to get caught.
I know.
It,
I'm
yeah,
trying to very, very, very carefully think about how I'm going to answer the question properly.
yeah.
The DM.
I'm aware of this could also screw it over, make it where he seems guilty or innocent. So if you can get
I
details
would,
on it, might help.
as you ask this question, roll me 2 rolls. I want a perception and an insight. As you are asking exactly what happened.
Perception is a 21.
Good.
Insight is a 14.
Good. You notice it first as you finish asking the question. The person that is chained down on the plinth is clearly struggling under his bonds that bind him there to it. His arms outstretched, his legs outstretched. It's really uncomfortable. And as he's trying to answer, you can see it. You can see with your insight that the person isn't as large in appearance seems to be a slight shimmer around the edges as you look, as you watch, as the answer that comes back to you is of actually stealing something. I am not guilty. But Ronan did smudge the figures in the books by a decimal point. And you hear it breaking as you see it.
Hoping to get a bit more detail from it, but okay.
But you see the illusion of Ronin Pascal, this large, 7.5 foot tall individual chained to this plinth, ready and waiting for execution. And you see the illusion shimmering. With your perception and insight combined, you see through the illusion. And you see not a man of Ronin Pascal, but indeed you see beneath the illusion a woman. Someone you really did not expect, to be fair. They look like they've got some quite fine clothes on underneath that illusion. Very fine. Probably shouldn't be on that plinth at all.
All right, well, with that, we're going to have again what I can do, if allowed.
Mm.
Rask would probably hop off because seeing that he's under the assumption that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And then as he hops off, he essentially puts his hand up and goes, "To cast judgment upon this man will not work because, one, he is not here. Two, what that is there is a mere illusion. And beneath it is a woman of fine clothing.
There's
So
gasps.
the current person is not the correct
Culprit.
thank you, culprit for this trial."
There are gasps and shocks coming from the
So-
crowd as you say this. The executioner on the plinth before you steps down and steps up into your face. And where's your proof?
Proof? If I show you the proof, or you're going to attack me,
I have a job.
because I can easily show you the proof.
I have a job to execute the prisoner. If you do not.
I'm aware, but do hold your weapons at bay until shown. And he is going to walk around him
Mm-hmm.
and climb up there. And if it is an illusion, his feet will just pass through, breaking said illusion and
And
revealing
indeed,
the woman.
it doesn't quite
And
pass
at
through. Your feet do
You
not
just
quite pass through because they hit the chain that is buried within the illusion.
well, it would be like a crappy video game, and you're clipping through an item and stuff.
Exactly.
This
Exactly
here
like that.
is your fruit.
The crowd look shocked and horrified at the same time that upon this dirty plinth, a woman, where the illusion has now been broken, has suddenly appeared instead of what they thought was going to be the execution of Ronin Pascal. Someone who had genuinely been found guilty of theft from the treasury. And this illusion vanishes.
Is
The two
she muffled or anything?
executioners stop and look in horror as they see this noble woman chained to the plinth. They put
If
down
she's
their blades and they run
gagged or
up.
anything, he would
If
definitely remove the gag off of her mouth and go, "You have very nice clothing, so I highly doubt you stole it." Kind of stupid. But if you can, pick your name for me, my dear.
Meredith Blackwater.
There you have it. Wrong culprit, different name. This is not a person. This trial is not valid.
You hear from the parapet above, "Silence! You say your name is Meredith Blackwater. Yet I am her husband. She is at home in bed, sick. She cannot be here. This cannot be her. These are deceptive lies being told under the guise of an illusion. Executioners, prepare to do your job."
I'm going to look up.
It,
Can you prove that your wife is at home?
are there any jewelry on this woman? Necklaces, rings that would look like she would have on at all times with every outfit she did.
Yes, she's definitely got some jewelry on.
He's going to essentially look for what would probably be the most one that would have been worn very often. So it would have like, if it's a ring, it would have more of a wear on the sides from other rings rubbing against it.
It's probably
And
most likely going to be the signet ring that has family
that'll definitely do.
and is
And
often used for sealing wax seals and things.
he'll take her hand gently and go, "I'm going to need to borrow this for a bit, ma'am." And then look up to above where her husband's voice was and go, "Hey, catch!" And then toss it up to him.
Give me an athletics check or sleight of hand, whichever you prefer.
But it's,
Just
we'll
for the
do athletics.
lols. Just for the lols.
Oh, well, it's for the lulls.
Oh,
It would be
16. Okay.
no. Oh, that ignore that. That was a misclick. It'd be a 10 because
10.
it was a 6 plus 4.
You throw it up, and as you do, it clinks up on the side. It does go over, but he's quick enough to catch it. And as he stops and sees it, he throws his hands up in the air. "Meredith, halt the games!" There shall be no more tonight. We will
definitely take a couple
return with
steps
another
back.
team in the morning, and I will run my own personal audit and investigation into the corruption in the arena. Tomorrow, games shall continue as normal. Time will not be stopped for the games. This annual event is sacred, but we will root out what is happening here tonight. No staff shall leave. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. For the players, you are all now level 3.
What? We jumped 2 levels?
No, actually, you gained a level for each successful challenge.
Oh,
okay.
right. Damn.
I was starting to think, wait, were we supposed to be level 2 or 1?
You started at level 1. And your first challenge you succeeded, second challenge you succeeded, third challenge you succeeded. So actually, you should be level 4.
Jeez.
Well, now.
It'll be the same for the next group, and then when the next group next week, they'll come in. They'll do 3 challenges. They'll be different to these, obviously. They'll do 3 challenges as well, and then after the week after that, you'll come back. Both teams will be there, and you'll both have your first 10 rounds, and then you'll do PvP afterwards, either 10 rounds or till beasts on one side is dead. Then you'll have the PvP afterwards when the wall drops, and then at that point, whoever is the winner will become level 5, and the team that comes in after that will start at level 2, so that they will be level 1, whatever, level 5 to level 4. Yeah, so they'll start at level 1, and then the week after that it'll be level 2, and so on and so forth. Anyway, the idea is that when we get to the arena battles and the challenges where it's PvP, first round, I should say, both teams will be on equal footing. And then after that, the team coming in through the trials will always be 1 level behind the current champions. So whoever wins the PvP in 2 weeks' time, it should be now, whoever wins that PvP will be level 5. Next team that comes in to challenge them will be challenging them at level 4. And it'll go on like that. Anyway, long story short, I'll explain that when we get there. But yes, you should be at level 4 now, ready and waiting for the big arena fight in 2 weeks.
All right.
Wow.
And next week, we will have the next set of challenges. And maybe a little more on the story of what's going on in the Ludus. So, if you're up for that and you want to find out more, come back next week to work out what's going on in the games.